So hi everyone, welcome to another Tiny Tableau tip. So one of the best practices for line chart is to label the start and the end mark of a line chart. But unfortunately, when you have a small KPI chart, this line chart might get squished and the labels might overlap with the line charts. So one way to go around it is actually to build in buffer for the axis so that your labels can sit snugly at the start and the end marks of the line. So in order to do that, you can simply go to create two different calculations. So the first one you need to calculate is the minimum date. So this is a level of detail calculation, an LD function that takes the minimum of the order date for the entire data set. And what you want to do from here is actually to use a date addition function by subtracting 12 months. So this number of months or days or weeks is entirely up to you and dependent on the granularity of your data. But for the purpose of this example, I'm using months instead. So what I'm doing here is I'm subtracting 12 months from the minimum order date, which is this point here at January 2020. The other calculations that you need to do is actually the maximum, right? The buffer for the maximum. So you need to do the same thing, LD function for the maximum order date, and add instead of subtract 12 months to the maximum. Once you have these two calculations, you can go ahead and drag them into the detail. So one thing, you want to use right click to drag so that you can select the exact value over here. Continuous, there we go. And then this is the minimum, and you want to drag the maximum as well, the continuous. And once you have that, what you want to do is you right click on the axis and you add a reference line, and you can now set it to the minimum, and you want to kind of hide everything. The lines by default would show a single line vertically, but you can actually hide the line, uncheck the show recalculated line, and then you can add another reference line for the maximum and do the same thing. And now you can see that your line chart actually squishes to the middle, and this gives you the effect over here where the labels will sit nicely at the line chart ends. So thank you. Hi everyone, here to share a tiny Tableau tip that I use often at work. So when I create line charts, I often want to label some parts of the charts, but unfortunately, if you change the format of the labels, for example, to thousands, you would see that the tooltip actually changes as well. So there's a quick trick to have different formats for the labels and tooltip, and you can simply just click on click on Control and drag it to tooltip, and double click on the tooltip measure and just put a /1. This divides the value by 1, but essentially returns the same value. But now you can actually change this value format to the original one. And then if you hover over, now you have two different formats, one for the tooltip and one for the labels. Just make sure that you check the tooltip as well that is using the correct measure. Thank you.